I'm Brittany Rivers and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be taking you all through the customization of this 40-inch wig from AliExpress. It's been a minute since I got a 40-inch deep wave curlier wig, but I'm going to show you all how I bleached the knots, dyed this hair, and plucked the hairline. So we are going to go ahead and get into this video, but before we do, I'm going to ask that you all remember to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Madam Brittany, and let's get into this video. Okay, we are going to go ahead and jump right into this customization video for this 40-inch loose wave wig from AliExpress, and we are going to get super detailed from start to finish. So this wig is super duper full and beautiful, and the first thing we're going to do is get that jet black look. Like, yeah, the hair is already dark, but we want it black. So I'm using a 13x9 pan I just got from the grocery store. I like to use this thing, and I'm pouring boiling water in the pan. It really doesn't matter how much, because I did end up adding a little extra water to the pot. And if your water gets super hot in your sink, you may not even need to boil your water. I used 2 bottles of the jet black dye by Adore. I'm just going to empty them all out into the water now. And you might want to dip the bottle back in the water and kind of swish it around to make sure you get all of that dye out. It's inflation. We are not wasting any money, honey. And I'm using my whisk to mix this all around to get rid of any clumps of dye. So now I am going to go ahead and dip my wig in the container. I'm starting from the bottom. I'm sorry about the camera, but I'm just trying to make sure I spread the hair out so every piece of hair gets covered in the water. And I'm going to kind of dip it in, dip it out, just to make sure everything gets covered in the dye. And I will leave it in this water for about 40 minutes. So it has been 40 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and rinse this dye out of the wig. Like, I use way too much dye, so you do not have to use too much. But as you can see, the hair is super black, super beautiful. It is giving. And now I'm just going in with cold water and rinsing that excess dye out of the hair. So this shouldn't take too long. I'll just keep rinsing until it runs semi-clear, till all of that water you see coming out is clear. So now we are moving on to step 2, which is bleaching your knots. So I'm using BW2 powder, 50 volume developer, and you need some kind of bowl and stirring tool, whether you use a knife or a spoon or an actual dye brush. And I'm using 50 volume developer because I want this to go really fast, and I need the strongest developer possible because we just dyed that hair jet black. So we are going to have to lift those knots from jet black to a blondish color that is almost invisible. So I like to start off with 2 scoops of BW2 powder. And I don't actually have a measurement for this, but it's a look. You want your mixture to be a little more pasty. So when I did this, I added a little too much developer. So if you add too much developer, add more powder. If it looks too thick, add more developer. But you're just going to stir this around, and I like to use a butter knife, and you're going to see why in a little bit, but you're just kind of guesstimating and getting the paste texture you want. So one key I have is if I lift my spoon, my knife, whatever, the bleach mixture should not be falling off the knife. You want it pretty thick so it won't seep through the lace and bleach all of the hair. After adding a little more bleach, you can see that it is thick enough. Like, you see, it's getting pasty, it's thick, it's kind of stuck to the knife. This is what we want. So I actually waited until the next day to bleach my knots after dyeing the hair, but you don't have to. So this is how the hair looks after it's watercolored. But as long as the lace part is dry, you could hit it with a little blow dryer. You're good. Your wig does not have to be completely dry. You could do all of this super fast together. So I'm just turning the wig inside out on the mannequin so I can properly bleach those knots. And to stick the wig on the mannequin head, you're going to need T-pins, needles, thumbtacks, anything you can use to puncture the mannequin head so that wig does not move. And here is the reason I like using a butter knife. I like to think of bleaching the knots as icing a cake. You don't want to work the bleach in too much because you don't want it to seep into the wig and get all on the hair. But you just want to spread that bleach out and make sure you have all of the lace covered. Get the sides, go all the way back, and you're good, you guys. And because this wig is jet black right now, you guys, I am leaving this bleach on for about an hour. You want to leave the bleach on for at least an hour. I know it's scary, but if you really want to lift those knots, especially if you have jet black hair, it's going to have to stay on there for a minute. Or you're going to have to double bleach. And an hour later, here I am rinsing this excess bleach off of the hair. Just any kind of water. And you all may be able to see, but you can see that the knots are bleached from the inside of the wig. But I actually made a mistake, and I'm glad I did on this video because some of my bleach seeped into my wig, and I'm going to show you how to fix it. And before we do that, I'm actually going to go in with some purple shampoo because right now the knots are a little orange-like, and we're going to take that orangeness out. And also, because you have that undertone from the jet black dye, it also looks a little reddish, red, orangish, you know. So the purple shampoo is going to take all that out. And we're just going to let the purple shampoo sit on there for about 10-15 minutes and then rinse it off. So now we are going to fix those parts I kind of over dyed on the wig. So I'm taking jet black Adore dye in a comb. And I'm going to put a little bit of the jet black dye on the comb teeth. And we're just going to comb it through the wig. So do not be scared or upset if you ever over bleach your wig and have a little bit of the wig with the bleach on it. Do not be upset because it is fixable. So as you can see, I'm just going to comb this through. Those front parts, you see, they look a little reddish to me or like yellow. So that's all it takes to fix those over bleached parts of the wig. You see, I even got a little bleach towards the top. So we're also going to fix that and add a little dye in that middle part. If you can kind of see that spot there. So do not be upset and be discouraged if you mess up, because I do it all the time. Of course, once you're done with fixing any spots you might have messed up, you're going to rinse the dye out. But now we're going to move on to the plucking the hairline phase. So you want a water bottle. If you don't have a water bottle, just get that frontal all the way wet. You want it really wet. So I'm just spraying the entire hairline. And firstly, I'm going to pluck a little bit of the hair in the front. Before we really get into slaying, we're just creating a little dimension of hair, baldness, just some different lengths in the hair. So we're just leaving a little, plucking a little, and creating just this variation going on. And I like to work on sides, so I'm doing the whole left side before I move over to the right side, or do the whole right side before you move over. So instead of plucking the entire wig's front from left going all the way to the right, we're just kind of breaking it up in sections so it's a little easier. So now I'm going to go into the hairline and actually get to plucking. This is where the magic happens. So you are just going to part like a little piece out of the front because this is actually going to add even more dimension than what we added earlier. So definitely do not be too hard on yourself with this, you guys. Think about your real hairline, or at least my real hairline. I got a little baldness, not just baldness, but my temples go back further than the front of my hairline. So I'm going to pluck a little heavier on the temples and the sides, and then pluck a little less at the front, or like the forehead region almost. But I'm just doing that same method I was doing earlier where I pluck a little, create a little line of baldness, keep a little bit. Pluck a little, keep a little bit. So the thickness between my plucking and keeping that I just mentioned is like the thickness of a fingernail. So you're just kind of creating dimension. And now you can really start to see it coming together. The hairline is really starting to give, you guys, especially compared to how the hairline was before. So now I'm going to comb those front pieces back to see what it's looking like and how the actual hairline looks, no baby hair. So this is how it's looking right now. And once you comb it back, you can see little pieces that look a little thicker than you would like, and you can still pluck from there. So you can get more of a full picture of how the hairline really looks. So right here, I'm going to pluck a little hair right there. You see those larger, thicker gaps? I'm just going to thin them out a little bit because I like my hairline a little thinner. But it's totally up to you. And bam, this is how it's looking. It looks good. Like it's eating the girlies up. You see that little thicker piece? Like bam, looks good to me. And also you can see the before. So that's where we started and that's how it looks now. So yeah, it makes a huge difference, you guys. Plucking is the key to life. So now, of course, I'm going to move over and do the other side, but you all already got the gist of how to do it. So we are just going to speed through this. We're going to create a little baldness in the front, part it, create a little baldness back there. And as you can see, you pluck a few strands and the change happens so quickly, you guys. So that's all you're doing with the plucking. So if you all want to check the install out of this wig, the video is already up on my channel and you guys can watch it. So definitely check that out. I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Madam Brittany. And thank you all so much for watching. Have a great day, you guys. I'm going to keep this video going so you all can see how this side turns out. And I will talk to you all very soon. Have a great day, guys. Bye.